With respect, an open letter to President Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, we're Jim and Barbara. We're married seniors who've seen 8 decades with 23 grands and 3 greats. Today we find ourselves filling a family void as we're guardian grandparents to a wonderful 13-year-old granddaughter. This letter is to point to a few, not all, but a few of the comparisons between you, Mr. President, and our 13-year-old granddaughter. Our granddaughter's previous world lacked accountability. There were no consequences for her action and very little discipline. She found it very difficult to seek out and take advice from others. She had no rules, and if a rule was needed, she just made one up. As grandparents, we've encountered a real challenge in bringing her into a real world of structure and accountability, and consequences for action, her tone of voice, lack of respect for others. Over a period of time, there has been numerous teachable moments for all. Her initial refusal to conform to a new structure has gradually been replaced with acceptance to a controlled accountability structure. Unlike you, Mr. President, our granddaughter hasn't been elected to any high office. However, she is learning to seek out and value the opinions of others before coming to conclusions. She's learning there's consequences for uncalled verbal outbursts that serve no useful purpose. And she's even learned to apologize for past remarks. She's slowly acquiring an understanding that team is the name of the game, and she's beginning to understand this isn't all about me. Together as a we team, we're making strides that over time will one day deliver a bright, young, well-rounded young lady to the real world, ready to do her part in helping make America great again. Mr. President, this letter in no way is intended to belittle you or diminish your past successes and most admirable efforts as President. In fact, Mr. President, it's out of admiration for your efforts and success to make America great again, MAGA, that's provoked this letter. And because of that is intended to call your attention to some things that you and you alone can address. So, Mr. President, as you move forward in your quest to distinguish yourself, millions of us patriotic Americans truly want to see you keep on keeping on being successful. However, in our humble opinion, and with respect, Mr. President, the lessons we're trying so desperately to teach our 13-year-old granddaughter should be a consideration going forward. Mr. President, it's time for America and us Americans, our leaders on all levels, the journalists, reporters, and talk show hosts, to reclaim the high road and stop calling our neighbors a name and pointing a finger of blame. After all, there's very little us Americans cannot do when we lock arms and march in the same direction. And if you agree with this, share it and help give President Trump a gentle nudge. So, Mr. President, we want to do our part in making America even greater. So, we've created the American Family and Community Rebuilding Act. It is the dawning of a new day in America. AFCRA, reinventing Social Security for our children and grandchildren. Go to www.realjoearmy.com to find out all the details.